let's have the Deputy AG also share with us what his belief or thinking of community sentencing should be.
All right. Now, if you take our Criminal Offences Act, as well as our Criminal Procedure Act, Act 29, as well as Act 30, especially Act 30, you find provisions relating to sentencing or punishment. You don't find any provision on community sentencing. Now, it's a bit against background that as a state, we have decided that there's a need to have a framework, if you like, if I put it that way, or a bill that will seek to address issues that my learned friend Ibon has raised. Now, if you take our Constitution, I want to take us back to the Constitution. You take Article 16 of our Constitution. It prescribes forced labor. Of course, it has given 4 exceptions. And one of the exceptions is where a court of popular jurisdiction has ordered that the person should undergo forced labor. But we also know that by Article 1911 of our Constitution, there are 2 things there. Before a person can be convicted, that offense must be defined in a written law, and the punishment must also be prescribed in a written text or in a written law. So even if you take Article 16, without having a law giving a judge the power to order that a person should serve, or in quote, to have a forced labor, that would be unconstitutional.
Right.
It's against that, as a state, so that fine, there's a need to have a community sentencing bill or community service bill where people who have been convicted by the court could be given the opportunity, as Edmond stated, to reform. That's always been the thinking that if you slap me, I must slap you back.
Mm-hmm.
If you stab me, I must stab you back.
An eye for an eye.
Exactly. But we have moved on. Now we look at systems where people can be rehabilitated. That for the accused person. We also look at a system where the victim can also, in a way, be compensated. If you marry the two, there's a possibility of having a point where an accused person may not go to prison, but may serve the community in a very positive way. Now, the proposal being put up now is that instead of allowing people to go and, as it were, rot in jail, it would be better to put them to productive use, in quotes, another way.
Right.
Because currently, people are sometimes sentenced to serve in hard labor, IHL. That's a different one. While you are in custody, the court also has ordered that, because the law has given that kind of punishment, go and work for the state. But this one is looking at a situation where, for the period that you are supposed to have been in custody, you are now being asked to go the other way around to work in the community. I've always given this example that as lawyers, maybe Samson, you'll be driving in Accra, every day you jam traffic. You have the money to pay when you are fined in court. But to ensure that people like us do not jam traffic, at times when we are arrested, we are taken to court, the court should give the option of paying a fine. The court should even take us maybe to go to prison. But there must be a community order, service order, where you go to Makola, the gutters there, you wear your uniform in broad daylight, you help in desilting the gutters. Then they see something in that gear, they silting the gutter. That's enough punishment for you. So it's an attempt to also water down the effect of people who may want to just act with impunity, but they have the money to pay. Then if you come to our developmental agenda, Ghana is it's a developing state. We need a whole lot of things that we need to do as a state. We pay for people to do a whole lot of things for us. We can also use the energies of people who have decided to commit crimes to address some of these critical issues. That's one of the reasons why this bill
and they will be happy to do that rather than, as you say, rot or languish in jail. We will normally say you rot in jail.
Exactly. Because as you gave that example, you can even work in the community. At the end of your service, you maybe acquire some skills.
That's right.
And depending on the way you even work in the community, someone can engage you through meaningful employment. So at the end of the day, you are being punished, but you're also being reformed. And the thinking now is also that it's not every offense that you may be given that option to serve the community. The proposal is to look at offenses that do not attract more than 3 years imprisonment or a fine or both.
That's misdemeanors.
More than 3 years. Exactly. So if there's an offense that says that you are to go to jail for 3 years and you are convicted, the judge will have the discretion to say, instead of you going to jail, and on the lighter side, go to jail for the state to feed you with that 3 or less Ghana cedis a day. Let's save that money. Let's use you to do something in the community at no cost. So at the end of the day, the state also benefit from your crime in court. You've committed a crime, but the state also benefiting from because you're doing some kind of forced labor.
All right. So we're going